All right, guys, welcome back to another show here at Star Trek United, uh, powered by the Proud Warriors of Kronos. So, the Victories crew, because we are part of the International Federation of Trekkers, this is the show where we take basically Star Trek shows, kind of revisit them, take a look at them, and, you know what I mean, give you guys our opinion on them. Some of these shows we haven't seen, well, some of them since they aired. Voyager is one of those shows that I never went back to rewatch. Not that it was bad or anything. It was just that you know, I waited for the next show to come out. So we are doing right now TNG, and with me, of course, is my first officer, Commander Xena, my helmsman Rob of Imperial Renegade, and our resident Star Trek fan who has her own Star Trek group joining us here for this show. So, where we left off last time on Star Trek United, we were on episode 11. Now we're on episodes 12 and 13, The Royale. Um, you know what? It's a cute little episode. It's not bad. I mean, it's not like woohoo, but there were some fun little nuggets here and there throughout the episode. Um, I kind of like that. The kind of reminded me of what was that race? Oh, there were several races in Star Trek that always copied what they found from something that we left behind and created some type of menagerie or some type of something with it. And this is one of those episodes. So, Commander, let's get your take on this.
I don't think I revisited since it probably aired in '89. Um, so basically, they found like a little NASA piece, and they go to this planet, and I think this is the one. And y'all, I'm tired, but I think this is the one they go through the door, and inside the door they see this gambling um, facility there. Um, I agree. I thought it was an okay episode. I did like the part where I guess the captain was a little irritated, where they went down. It was a black room. They saw a door. They went through the door, and Riker went in. I think it was Riker, Worf, and Data, I believe. And once they got inside, they lost transmission, and Picard is like, well, Riker should have, came back. Now, of course, at this point, that they didn't realize they couldn't come back, but we saw where Riker and them was up there, and Riker's like, no, we're here to investigate, and Picard's just on the ship saying, he should have came back. So I thought he was just I kind of felt like Captain was just a little irritated with with Riker. I don't know if Riker ever actually said, yeah, I probably could have. He wasn't kind of in a hurry because I think Riker kind of likes stuff like that, with the room and the gambling, the women, and Data meeting the cowboy, I guess, so to speak, with the hat and talking about gambling. I thought that was kind of cute there. But towards the end of the episode, I thought it was kind of sad that I guess the aliens thought that Earth people kind of behave that way, and I think they ended up finding a book, and the guy was just that was stuck there. If I recall, there was like three or four people that was on the little ship, got there. I guess everybody died except for the one guy, and the guy was, I guess, kind of I don't know, maybe fed up with what was going on over and over again for the story, because the aliens actually thought that's how we behave. And I thought it was kind of sad that I think when they were finding the guy's journal, that he was just ready to go. You know, he's been on the planet in this gambling establishment for over 30 years, and he just wanted to get out. And come to find out, the beings that was in this episode kind of wasn't real. Kind of felt sorry for the guy. I mean, we didn't meet the guy, but just overall was an okay episode. Now that I watched it, I don't think I will rewatch it again, but glad I did watch it today or yesterday or whenever I watched it.
Ms. Liz, give me your take on the Royale.
Well, it was very interesting how they managed to kind of like the episode where they went in Star Trek, the original, and they went down, and the whole society was modeled after that, that gangster movie. And but this one was interesting, that the fact that none of the characters, none of them ever even realized that they didn't exist. They were just you know characters that replayed their stuff over and over and over and over again. And but I did think that kind of Riker kind of, once he got a hang of it, he kind of enjoyed himself. And I think him and Data really had a good time raking up all that money so that they could buy the place, so they could get out of there. I think he really kind of enjoyed that aspect. Once they realized that that's what they had to do to get out of there, I think they had fun doing the gambling and passing out the money and whatnot. And other than that, there wasn't much to it. Oh, and I did kind of, the guy from Texas, he was an interesting character. But that's about it. Not much else.
No, understandable. Yes, the spreading around money.
It was
All right,
sad about
Rob.
that. It was sad about that poor astronaut that he, umpteen hundred years ago or more.
Well, like Worf said, died in his sleep. What a terrible way to go.
Was not one of my favorite episodes. It was like a bad reinterpretation of the Gangster Planet, which I
Yep.
loved as a kid. And watching this, I just came bored with it when I was a kid watching this, and never really wanted to watch it again. Um, I do not have high praise for this episode.
Oh, my stars. Damn, Rob.
Short and sweet, Rob.
I know, right? Well, again, like I said in the beginning, I thought it was a cute little episode. Rob disagrees. I'm going to move along from here. Um, I think another, yeah, again, like we were just saying. Here you have another episode where technology falls into the hands of the alien species, and then they do this thing. And I'm pretty sure, like you said, Rob, they saw that, revisit, they're like, ooh, when we did this episode, let's do it like this now. But wasn't there also something about like 51 states or 52 states now when they turned the flag thing over on the piece of metal? Um, you know,
I think I missed that.
yeah. I think it was Riker that turned it over and goes, yeah.
I didn't notice that. All I saw was it said NASA and there was a flag, and I didn't pay any attention to it.
Well, according to Rob, you hadn't missed much. I have to give it to Rob because that's really unusual for Rob to come out like that. Normally Rob has nothing but high praise for TNG episodes, but this one was just like, nope, it rubbed him the wrong way. Oh, damn. Okay, Rob. Um, so let's get back into it here with. Ooh. Well, I can't definitely wait till we get to that season. TNG, sci-fi, da da da. Wow. Look at that. 8 out of 10 rating for that.
8 out of 8. 8 out of 10.
Nope. 8 out of 10.
Oh, I would not.
Not for that episode. For the
Oh,
for the
okay.
thing over Jira.
Okay.
No.
Woo.
Yeah. Yeah. I shudder to check what.
Okay.
But I think maybe we should check it out. Let me see if I can. Next Generation guide, episode guide. There we go. Episode list. We were at that one and Louder Than Whisper, Natural, Measure of the Man, which is still 6 out of 10.
Okay. Okay. I kind of agree to that.
Okay. Now we get to some nitty gritty. Some nitty gritty. Time squared. This was for me, of course, a better episode. Of course, now because we're dealing more with Picard, and Vonda's favorite person.
Oh my goodness! Every time I see her in that episode, I'm like, oh my god, are we in season 3 yet? So I can just stop seeing the Doctor. I don't like Dr. Pulaski at all.
To quote Michael Jackson, "You're not alone." I am not a fan.
Yeah,
I'm going to pull a Rob. Not a fan. Rubs me the wrong way.
yeah.
She just doesn't do anything for me either. I can't wait till we replaced her.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're in Starfleet. You see different species, aliens regularly, but you have a problem with Data being in an android. I don't understand her logic. I mean, and that's my biggest thing. It just doesn't make sense to me. I mean, you're on the ship, you go to different planets, meet different beings, and you have a problem with Data. Not that Data is my favorite character, but I feel like she's a little racist, I guess.
Well, she didn't get along with Picard too well either.
Well, I don't have a problem with her and Picard kind of talking. Sometimes you need somebody,
Yeah, Russell
to
Picard.
yeah, to say something. So I didn't have a problem with that, even though sometimes I do think she overstepped. But just how she talks down to Data, I don't like it. She's wrong for that. See, look how you bring up Calibus.
Look, all I'm saying is I didn't like her because she called his name wrong. Data. That's not my name. She
Yeah.
goes, well, my name is pronounced Data, and then she said something kind of smart, and I was like, ooh, I don't like you. You know what I mean? From that point on, I was good.
She was the Karen of the Next Generation.
Well,
Yeah.
I get it though that they're trying to bring in this like Dr. McCoy old crickety doctor female thing in here, but it just doesn't work. It just doesn't
She
work.
was not a Dr. McCoy by any stretch of the imagination.
Well, they were trying to do like a Spock and McCoy thing with her and Data and just didn't get it at all.
I think
Mhm.
that's kind of where they were trying to go with it. I think that, and it fell flat. It fell flat. But this episode, however, did not fall flat. Let's go with Rob first and wait for the results.
I actually kind of enjoyed this episode. I enjoy the ones where they have to deal with time and stuff like that. And this one kind of kept to it, and I enjoyed it.
Oh,
Okay.
high praise from Rob. Miss Liz?
Well, it took a while for it to actually start making sense what was going on, and once it started making sense, then it did better. Um, but I didn't like the way she was handling the situation. Uh, I think that Picard was doing a better job of handling the situation, and Troy was doing a good job of handling the situation. But I think the doctor was not doing a well job of, you know, handling the situation. Uh, I do like the it kind of obvious when we got to the last couple, last 10 or 15 minutes of the show, that that's what they were going to have to do. They were going to have to do the exact opposite of what the uh, the other Picard, and I still haven't figured out what Cole Meany was doing there, because he didn't have much to do in that episode. I mean, he was there, but he didn't do much. And they had him listed as a guest star, and I kept expecting something when they put him up there and said guest star. I expected a little bit more than him standing there watching the shuttle. And but it I'm glad that it all worked out in the end. We didn't end up blowing the Enterprise up, but we never found out why. Was it the entity, or was this space thing an entity that was causing the problem? Or was it just a space anomaly that they accidentally all of a sudden just kind of showed up? Yeah, they didn't exactly elaborate, if you know what I mean.
Well, I'm like Q. If you can't stand a bit of a bloody nose, perhaps you shouldn't be out here in space.
Well, you know how
You
I
know what I
feel
mean?
about Q. I love Q.
All right, Commander. Give me your report.
I kind of agree with both of y'all. I do think this episode was actually better than the episode we saw before then. I also think this is the premise of, do you, should you have gone right or left or back and front? And this is pretty much what, Picard I kind of feel like was thinking in this episode. He did this, and now he's kind of doubting himself. Should he have done that? Should he do the same thing? So I mean, in life we think that. Man, if I would have, went around the bend this way or left 5 minutes earlier, maybe this wouldn't have happened. So I think that concept of the episode was really interesting to me because, I know I've dealt that way. Man, if I just would have did this, then maybe that wouldn't have happened, and you don't know. So it was interesting where he was kind of just doubting his own self. That what we do in everyday life sometimes. I know sometimes I doubt myself. So sometimes I think we put Picard as a high pedestal because he is the captain. And this right here just comes to show you that, hey, even Captain Picard, I guess, so to speak, can make mistakes. He did what he thought was best, but obviously, his original decision is what destroyed the Enterprise, and he was the lone survivor. So, this part of the episode, I thought it was interesting. His doubting himself, still him putting, the crew first, because obviously once he got it, in the shuttle and, da da da, he was willing to sacrifice. But I thought that was interesting about the episode. So I would probably watch this one again, over the other one. Just so because, do you overthink it? Do you underthink it? And we all thought that one time or another in our lives.
Well said, Commander. Well said. I I do think this is one of the better episodes. Again, this was our real kind of, for me, a good look at Picard. Um, I always, when it always came down to it, James T. Kirk was all about the Enterprise. No doubt about it. That's my ship. Get my ship out of there, do this. My crew, my ship and my crew, it was number one. And this is the thing that Picard shows here. You know what I mean? So I've always liked those episodes where the captain is more concerned with the operation of the ship and his crew before his own welfare. I think those make better leaders. And then you got people like Jellicoe, and you know what I mean. I just, these type of commanders, because they've gotten to that particular branch, that now they expect everyone to follow what they say because of that. And people would follow Picard because of the man that he is, not the rank that he has. And I think so many people don't get that. Even in our situations, with our fan groups, the International Federation of Trekkers, the IKF, some people get so rolled up in these fictitious ranks that they feel that, well, I'm a so and so and you have to listen to me. This is pretend. And some of us aren't as cultured as the 25th century would like us to be. You know what I mean? Some of us, once provoked, don't have the capacity to let me just step back. They lash out, and stuff like that can get you hurt when because you're dealing with people. But I did like this because this shows what a great captain this man is. Uh, by no stretch of the imagination would I put him in my top two tiers for captain. But he is in my top five. um, but Picard, if you want that diplomat and you want somebody that's going to talk you to death, Picard's your man. You know what I mean? He's your man. He's going to sit you down and diplomatically map this whole thing out for you, and you might be a little bored by the end of it, but at least you can come to a compromise. So, but for that, I am thankful that, again, these episodes start building for me that he's a great captain. And those are the things that you need. I thought this might go a little longer, but you know what? I'm not going to press it. Rob, you definitely shocked me today. you pulled a Ronda Rousey Gina Carano fight. It's done. It's over. What the hell, Rob?
Yeah, that's one of my least favorite episodes of the entire series.
Really? Okay. So, guys, while I have you, we're getting ready to go into June. In June is the Hampton Blackbeard Festival. We, of course, will be there. Not per se as the crew, but we will be there hanging out, talking to people, and doing our thing. But back in September, we go back to springtime in the Shire. We call it Smithfield's Planet to check up on the local civilization. Hang out, eat some turkey leg, and drink some mead. Because I'm telling you now, that was on point. That was really on point. One of the greatest experiences that I've had, and I only thought that I would get a exhilarating experience from the conventions inside hotels. Nothing like the springtime in the Shire. I have to say that. That was one of the best experiences I've had. That was my first Renaissance fair, and it was a great experience. So, does anybody else have any news or anything that they'd like to say before we go? No?
No, but actually, you did kind of bring it up. You said that's not your top five. Picard would be in your top five. Who is in your top five?
James T. Kirk,
Okay.
Benjamin Lafayette Sisko, Mackenzie Calhoun, Jean-Luc Picard, Janeway.
Okay. Okay. Rob, what's your five?
Definitely Kirk, Picard. Uh, I'm drawing a blank on his name now. Before Kirk, not what's his name?
Mike?
Pike.
No, not Pike, not Pike.
Robert April?
Yes, Robert April
Okay.
and Archer.
Okay. Miss Liz?
Well, I would go. Let me see. Picard, Kirk. God, my brain just went south. The commander on Deep Space Nine,
Cisco.
Cisco. And I suppose Archer.
Okay. Okay. I think mine will probably be Kirk.
I think that's only four, right? Then we'll go with Janeway on the bottom, number five.
Not killing me with Janeway being at the bottom. Okay, so I would do
Well,
Kirk.
she just really didn't do anything for me.
Oh my God, Miss
Maybe
Liz,
it
we
was
don't have to
because
talk
of the
about this. No,
episodes.
no, stop, Miss Liz. You're wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong, Miss Liz. Okay, so I would say Kirk. I'm gonna do Janeway as my second one. Um, I think I now enjoy Cisco. Um, I would say Pike in like maybe season one of his show. And then five. I mean, I only watched Enterprise once, so I have to revisit that. But I do remember kind of liking Archer, a lot of his stuff. So,
Only reason I couldn't pick Janeway is because she had kids with her ensign Paris.
oh, that was just that one episode.
I just like Janeway because I thought if there's anybody that went beyond for her crew, it is Catherine Janeway.
Yeah,
This woman
And
at
she
old
had a
age
good, she
time
had a good
travels.
first officer. Chakotay was cool.
Yeah, but we're not talking about Chakotay.
Yeah.
I'm a little disappointed in Chakotay.
Yeah,
He
me
couldn't
too.
keep 7 of 9, so I don't know how you messed that up. But anyway, this woman time
You think
travels
7 of
to
9 was
save
better
her
than Chakotay?
crew.
Yeah.
She time travels to save her crew at an elderly age. She keeps her command because she figures she can save her crew. The only reason I
got a
have her
point.
down there at the bottom is because I discovered Mackenzie Calhoun, and I still like Picard. But if you told me there was a Janeway show coming out, I don't think I would rush to go. Like, all right.
Oh.
I did like her in God dang it, the kids show, Prodigy. But Janeway's a hell of a captain. Well, admiral now, but
Yeah.
she's still. I mean, she has to be in that top 5. If she's not in somebody's top 5 of captains, something wrong.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, she's in
She
my
knew
top
her
5.
ship. She knew her ship, and that's what really impressed me. When it comes to the other captains, they knew a little bit about their ship. She knew about her ship. She, if 7 of 9, wasn't feeling well, she could go down there and say, "Look, I'm going to go ahead and put this together, and it's going to work." So not just her captain skills, she knew the hell out of her ship. That's what impressed me compared to all of them. But that's another episode.
Well, guys, we will be back in 2 weeks for the next 2 episodes of Trek. Let's just make sure what we got here. Oh, I done lost it again. Yeah, I done lost it. But we'll be back the next 2.
Square.
Our next 2 episodes, we'll be back after that for those 2. And coming up next week, the matriarchs of fandom return, and Vonda, Ms. Liz, and Lady Grey will be back to give you the female rundown of the fandom, how they see it, and it's always refreshing to have that female voice added to the fandom, and that's their platform, and they have been the jewel for the Cosmic Portal for the last 2.5 years. So, ladies, thank you for your service. All right, guys, that'll do it for United. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Hopefully, everybody else will join us. If not, we carry on like we always do. We don't stop. And reach out. Watch those episodes. For those of you who enjoyed Starfleet Academy, sign the petitions. Keep watching. Is all I can tell you to do. Hopefully, you'll be able to get your show either maybe given to another network or something like that, or whatever it is. It is my understanding that all the sets have been taken down and auctioned off already. Even Strange New Worlds sets have been auctioned off already. So, but keep telling them your thoughts. That's the only way you're going to get something back on here. I may not have agreed with the show, but it is Star Trek, and I would like to see something else come along. And that's the only way we're going to get it, is if we keep voicing our opinions. All right? So, enjoy your night and keep watching your Trek.